Everybody, it's your boy Jay Floyd, man. Welcome to another episode of the Big Bro Podcast. Listen, the Big Bro Podcast is here, man, just so we can chop it up, man. Relate. You may hear some topics on here that you probably won't hear elsewhere. You know what I mean? But the key for me is for us to be a community, man, for us to be a family. And I think that we got to grow, we got to heal, we got to learn together by being transparent, by being open. And I like to provide that voice, man, be that big brother that my big brother was for me when I was growing up. Word. So just a real quick aside, man. Yesterday was my big brother's birthday. He would have been 48 this year. So happy heavenly birthday to my big bro. One of the motivations for this show, man. Big Julius Floyd, man. Big J. So yo, today I really wanted to hit a deep one, man. I had been bubbling a topic recently, and just trying to craft, get to the real root of it, man. I'm really big on really getting to the root. Everybody says y'all shouldn't do this, y'all shouldn't do that, we shouldn't do this, we shouldn't do that. You really can't ever really change behavior, man. You really only hearts change. Your behavior follows your heart, right? So one of the things I was thinking about, man, I was out cutting the lawn, man, and this line kept creeping in my head, man. This classic Tupac line from Keep Your Head Up, where my man was talking about, this is one of the greatest most uplifting songs in hip hop history, right? And when he started talking about women, I really wish I could play the clip, but I don't want to get shut down for copyright infringement, man. But he started talking about women, man. And he said, since we all came from a woman, got our name from a woman and our game from a woman, he said, I wonder why we take from our women, why we rape our women, do we hate our women? And he went on to say some other stuff. I think it's time to kill for our women, time to heal our women, and be real to our women. And that's all, man, so dope, so ridiculous. I always tell people, man, as a lyricist, as an MC, people don't realize how transcendent, how profound, how hard it is to duplicate what he did in those songs, right? But I want to talk about getting beyond the rhetorical, getting beyond the question, right? He asked a question in that lyric. I wonder why we take from our women, why we rape our women, do we hate our women? And I think, if you zoom out on that, not long after that, Pac ended up going to jail for, sexual assault, for basically a rape act on a young lady, man, and so it's obviously one of the most ironic kind of twists, you know what I mean? But I think it's telling, because this is the thing. This is where we are. This is the thing that we need to address, right? I think what Pac brought was the profound question. Why we take from our women, why we rape our women, do we hate our women? But he never answered it. It was rhetorical. Why do we take from our women? We take a lot, take a lot. How much do we actually consider them? Why do we rape our women? Come on. We live in a society where rape culture is huge, and it's still kind of unchecked. People complain about Me Too, but it's still kind of unchecked, man. We really ain't really put the smack down on it yet. God willing, it's coming, but we really ain't put the smack down on it yet. And the final question he asked was, do we hate our women? Do we hate our women? All my fellas that's watching, man, from your big bro, I want you to really pose that question to yourself, man. I want you to really think about that. You know, as we grow up, we get introduced to the world through the lens of patriarchy, through the lens of male privilege. Sometimes we never even have to consider certain things. You know what I mean? Like, I remember years ago, somebody brought up the fact that, man, as a dude, you know, as a black man, I got certain things that are issues for me. But as a man, I could just get up, go to the store. 2 o'clock in the morning, boom, just go. You know, I might have to worry about the cops swerving on me, but I really don't have to worry about, man, is somebody going to try to throw me down and take from me? You know what I mean? Is somebody going to try to assault me? Somebody going to try to violate me? And that's something that not just 2 o'clock in the morning to the store, you know, for many, many, many women, that's something that crosses their mind a lot. You know what I mean? Just being in a room where they're the only woman and that kind of stuff. I mean, just come on, man. Just growing up and trying to enjoy being a teenager, being a young adult, being an adult, man. Just trying to navigate the world. That's something that has to pop up. You got to run into that, you know? So I think we have to first thing say, all right, if I participated in that culture, or if I didn't participate in checking that culture or trying to make sure it didn't exist around me, do I hate our women? Why haven't I participated in shutting that down? Why haven't I been an active agent? I think we all got to ask ourselves that. You know what I mean? I think, you know, what I really want to do with this topic, man, is just to throw this out to the fellas, man, as a challenge for us. You know, I'm all about getting better. Even if you could get 1% better tomorrow, do it. You know? So I think what I want to do is go behind the question, go beyond the question. A lot of people, you know, like if you look on Twitter or Facebook, you'll see a lot of people that's like, why is boom, 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 boom? Why is that true? And, you know, it's like, why is that true? But the real thing is, no, why is that true? Why? No judgment. You can't go to the judgment first. And I think maybe that's why we don't really get to the why. But no judgment. Why though? Let's start to toss out some facts. Let me start with myself here. Some things I don't do. Boom, boom, boom. You know, one of the things I remember talking to some of my dudes about, you know, with us all being married, me and all my dudes, all the dudes I'm tight with, we all married. So, you know, one of the things that we started to do after we had been married some years, our conversations changed. It started to be like, hey, this is something, hey, peep this. This is something I learned that I ain't so good at. What about you? You know, you run into this with your wife? Do you run into this with your marriage? You know, and one of the biggest things was, do I consider my wife's opinion as equal to mine? Not, I want you to really listen to that question. Not, do I listen to my wife and do I make her feel heard? That's one level. But did I honestly accept it and internalize it as equal to mine? Or do I already have mine up there and, you know, maybe her opinion can compete with it, but mine's already set in the deciding position? You know what I mean? Is that, I mean, I'm not saying we bad for doing that, but I'm saying if we do that, let's talk about it. Let's see how we can help each other grow past that. You know? Those are the kind of things we can start to move on. We can start to understand, man. You know what I mean? I know there's a lot of back and forth, a lot of versus, them versus us on social media right now. You don't agree with this, you don't agree with that. You know what I'm saying? We can see it right now at the time this is posting with the song WAP with Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to dig into the details of that. Maybe I'll do a song review or something on that one later, but or a lyric breakdown or something, maybe. But I mean, I think the biggest thing is with something like that, see, that's provocative music. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's provocative art. And right now in this culture, it just make people be like, you don't agree with this, you don't agree with that. But agreeing is really overrated, man. Understanding is really what we should be seeking, man. So the next person ain't really got to feel the way I feel. The next woman doesn't have to feel the way I feel. And in fact, how can they? You know what I'm saying? If I'm coming from my perspective and they coming from theirs, what we should start to seek is, hey, maybe I could try to understand their perspective. Maybe I could try to understand that. Maybe, you know, whether we agree or not looms so large and it get our emotions all riled up. When at the end of the day, man, how many people really change their opinion because somebody else's opinion is different? Nah. Really, people, what really should change your opinion is if you present it with more understanding or more facts. Maybe you experience something that make you now understand how that person feels and what they may have been through in their life. So maybe now you can start to, hey, now I see what you were saying. Me just sitting up here arguing in your face saying I feel this way is not going to make another person be like, oh, yeah. Now that you just screamed it at me, I agree with you. That don't work that way. So I think let's start to find a way. I think we done got real good at posing questions. But let's get better at going behind the question and say, for real, what's the real underlying answer? Why do we take from our women? Why we rape our women? And do we hate our women? I think in a lot of instances, yes, we do. I don't know if it doesn't always show up as insidious hate, but it's definitely disregard, which is not love, which can be translated as hate, right? So I think if we do that, if we know we do that, and we do that, I do it, yes. And it's something we grow to get better on. You acknowledge it, you move on. You know what I'm saying? Any of my young dudes listening to this, man, understand that growth is an everyday thing for the rest of your life. Never change. Always be willing to be like, man, I can gain some understanding on that. I'm going to try to change that up. You change it up on your heart. Not let me stop because Big Bro said it. That Big Bro dude in that podcast said it. No, but what he said made me think about it. And when I really searched my heart, I don't want to be like that. So let me find the root of that. All right. The root is I never had a man in my life to really teach me what the value of a woman is. Or when I was growing up, the models that I had ain't really show me value. They just show me attraction. So I learned how to be attracted to women, but I never learned how to value them separate from me, right? Because one of the biggest struggles that us men have, we view women, even when we love them and value and treasure them, we love them and value and treasure them as an extension of us and something we love, value, and treasure instead of a being that's whole in themselves already. You know what I mean? They have thoughts, they have opinions, they have sexuality that all exists separate from us too. It existed before they knew us and must continue to exist and be respected and valued. And that's part of the challenge, bros. All right. So hit me up in the comments down below, man. Let me know what y'all think. This is a very layered conversation. I can't even expect that it's going to be just something that is easily dealt with. So let's make this like a part one. I'll come holler at y'all again for some more parts on this. Go behind the question, and let's go beyond it and say why. Say why. What is it? I know when I was coming up, my parents were divorced, my brother, and kind of somewhat instructed me on what to expect from women. But he was only 3.5 years older than me, so he was a teenager himself. He was just trying to figure it out. So really the only thing he could teach me was how to be brave enough to approach a woman and tell her I liked her. You know what I mean? When it comes to something deeper than that, there was no blueprint on that. There's no blueprint on that. So, we got to be realistic and sit down and say, all right, how much of that was instructed by TV? How much of that is instructed by the music I was rocking with? How much of that's instructed by the pornos I watched growing up? How much of that was instructed by bad models that I might have saw? And maybe I looked at them like, hey, I don't want to be like them, but them is the only ones I've seen. So I mean, I want to be like them, but that's the only model I got. So I could try to go against it, but what am I going to go for? What am I going to really stand on? These are the kind of questions we go behind the original question and start digging to do that hard work, because you ain't never going to just change behavior. Anybody who just say, I don't want to do this no more. Let's say, somebody a womanizer, somebody cheat on their woman or cheat on their man, or they're not a loyal person. They say, I just want to stop. That's going to be temporary. You're going to go right back to it because stopping behavior, you don't have a purpose for it. You don't have ain't nothing to hang on to. But if you change your heart and you say, okay, I cheat and I'll do this because I don't value blank, because my mom this, because my dad that, okay, now you start to heal that work. Start to heal the root. And then your behavior could be like, now that you didn't, now that that feel different, now that that's healing, I ain't got the same crushing desire to go feel that hole this way. You know, because I'm starting to see what happened to me and I don't need that gaping hole feel that way no more. Or maybe I can, now that I understand the gaping hole and how I got there, go seek to feel it in a natural way. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I really want this to be part 1, man. Let's think about that. I'm gonna put that question back up, man. Do we hate our women? Sub questions of why do we take from our women? Why do we hate our women? Why do we rape our women, man? Why is rape so prevalent, man? That's ridiculous. You know, when I look at that, every time I hear about what's going on with the amount of rapes and molestations and stuff, I'm like, what? But it's gotta be something deeper than that. It's gotta be something deeper that we need to address as a community, as a family, as a people, as a society. We gotta start digging deep and to heal. We can cancel all the people in the world we want, but unless we start healing people, it's not really gonna change that. I mean, endless list of cancels, you know? So yo, this your bro Jay Floyd, man, big bro, just rocking with me, man. But again, you got any questions you wanna add anything that I might have missed, toss any points in there that might add on to this conversation, go right ahead, because this is a conversation that I believe we should start floating around and our community, man. All right, I love y'all, man. 1, and make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. I need to get like, I want to hit 1,000 real quick. I know if you look down there, you might see that number. I don't know what number it's at right now, but look right down there, and I'm pushing that number to 1,000, and then we're gonna push beyond that. So then we can look back at this video and be like, man, back then he was just looking for 1,000, man. Now look what God could do. You know what I'm saying? So hey, I love y'all, man. Like, subscribe, send this on to your friends, send this on to your crew, send this to your church, send this to your folks, send this to your people. And let's spark this conversation, man. Send these comments, man, and let's talk about it. Let's understand each other, man. Everybody ain't got to agree with the things that I'm talking about, but these are things that we need to talk about, all right? It ain't about having the answer. It's about us all being able to kick in our voice, be transparent, be open, so we all can find our own answers. 1.